Okay, hello everybody. I'm hoping that you're having a wonderful week yourself, and it's just been very interesting to organize this interview, and finally we've done it. We are here, and we got the big man here. How you doing, man?
Very good. Thank you for inviting me over.
100%. Um, what's your name? Where you from? And let's crack it on.
Yeah, my name is Valter Pontes. I'm from Portugal. I was born and bred in Portugal, and I've been in the UK now for 5 years.
Right.
2021 will be 6 years since I arrived. Got into property by accident, and now it's history.
By accident.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what was the reason for you to come to the UK?
So I came to the UK to learn English and to get into university. So I thought if I would get into university, I would kind of learn how to make money and be, rich. People say money doesn't buy happiness, but neither poverty. So I wanted to
100%.
I wanted to, have more options and help my family. And so that was the reason I wanted to learn English, get into university, which I
Mhm.
did. I
Yes.
got into university, did my first year. After the summer, the first year, I was a bit shocked. I was like, oh, okay, so they
Mm.
teach you how, to have a job. And that wasn't what I was expecting. So then I asked for a gap year, closed
Yes.
myself
Hmm.
in a small room that I had, and I started reading books. Stumbled into a property book. I always wanted to be involved in property, but I thought, you need to be very wealthy in
Yes.
order to start in property. So I went to some courses, used my student loan to learn how to
Mm.
invest,
Yes.
and so then I started my property journey now. Moving forward, February will be my third year in property. I'm already reached 8 figures,
Wow.
10 million.
That's really amazing. Because I went on your, because I think it was one of the pages for properties, and and I just saw you. I was just like, okay, cool, this is interesting. Myself, I'm also like into property itself, and I was just like, okay, let me hit you up. So, and I'm really surprised that you even got time just to speak to me. So I really appreciate the time. Um, as you're saying, you went to university, and I'm guessing the way from what you're saying, it sounded like you had a different understanding of university from what you were presented. What were you expecting? Like, can you speak a little more in terms of that?
Yeah, so my expectation for university was I thought they would teach me tools to
Mm.
navigate to this world. So what do I mean by that? We use money all
Yes.
the time, so we need to buy products and services and goods. So
Hmm.
I thought they would teach you the fundamental of money.
Yes.
Income statement, profit and loss. It depends on what you're going to
Hmm.
university to learn
Yes.
to teach. But I thought they would will prepare us a bit more to
Mm.
the world.
Yeah.
So I was a bit shocked. So it wasn't what I was expecting. Maybe my expectations was,
Too high.
was too high. Exactly. So
Yes.
I don't blame university. I think is a
Mm.
great. If you wanted to be a doctor, it depends on
Yes.
what you wanted to
Where to go?
study. But
Yeah.
it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me definitely.
Mm.
And I have a shift. I shift, and I went to entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
um, which in which worked well for me. It works much better than maybe I'm not very academic, I would say.
Mm. Right. So how was that transition from you from doing a course and for you to be like, okay, I'm gonna stop studying speaking as in a university to go into your like, okay, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing, my own study. How was that for you?
Yeah, so I went to the first course, and for me it was kind of, I felt overwhelmed because I
Mm.
couldn't understand anything they were saying.
Hmm.
My background, I was studying to be an actor.
Right.
So which is completely different. So
Hmm.
and then going to investment, they will talk about rent to rents and sourcing and purchase options, and I'm like,
Yes.
it's all jargon for me. So I didn't understand none of that. So transition was, first I felt overwhelmed, and what
Mm.
I did, I took a gap year,
Hmm.
and I just read. In that
Mm.
gap year, I read 250 books.
Wow.
I just read because I knew I was overwhelmed because I didn't understand enough. So I read quite a lot of
Yes.
books.
Hmm.
And then I asked for a gap year, read the books,
Hmm.
start implementing with
Yeah.
the course. And I made 180K sourcing deals. Sourcing deals, basically, I would find a property with
Hmm.
some discount.
Yes.
We negotiate, and instead of buying myself, I
Uh-huh.
would pass that to an investor,
Right.
which would buy, and he would pay me a fee. Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
So with that strategy, I made 180K, six figures, and then I used that money
Mm.
and start buying properties for myself.
Yes.
So because I became very good at finding properties, so now I had some money, I started buying properties. So I went from 0 to 2.5 million.
Hmm. Right.
And then in 2020, I reached 10 million. I've been a Forbes magazine.
Mm.
I won the Investor of the Year, CEO of the Year
Yes.
in America. I've been be nominated for the Entrepreneur of the Year 2020. My company won the Company of the Year
Uh-huh.
2020. So it's been, yeah, kind of, I've been in property 2 years. So in
Mm.
February will be three. So
Yeah.
a very short amount of time. So it's been like kind of unreal and surreal. So
Yes.
everyone wants me to do interviews. I'm like, oh, okay. So kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. In terms of you, like how? Okay, I don't know. Can you speak about a little bit more about your background? Because in terms of my audience, I want them to understand, because like a lot of time we see people achieving their goals, being successful, and we just like, yeah, well, they had this already. They had that in the praise. They're not from from a background like mine, whatever. Can you speak about a little bit about your background, and
Yeah,
in order for
yeah.
my
I,
audience to
I,
be able
I
to?
yeah. I think
Mm.
my background. One of the things I tell people, you need to remain humble because I'm from very humble beginnings,
Mm.
and that's why, don't get me wrong. I have like 1,300 messages on the phone,
Yeah.
and but people, I'm still very approachable because
Yes.
in the end of the day, we all going to die. So don't be cocky or because you have more money. So we all
Hmm.
going to.
So true.
So yeah. So my background, I would say, so very humble. I was born in Portugal by an accident because
Mm.
my father and mother, they met in Angola,
Right. Yeah.
and I would say I was made in Angola,
Mm.
and then my mother persuaded my father to have me in Portugal.
Right.
So
Hmm.
because it was safer, and my mother, my father, okay, like decided, so had me in Portugal. So I stayed in Portugal for 0 to 6 years. So I did my first grade in Portugal,
Hmm.
and then my parents moved to an island called Santo Tomé Prince,
Right.
which is nearby. Yeah, so it's the sixth poorest country in the world if we compare with GDP.
Right.
And there, I know what is not having water
Hmm.
or food or, even shoes. So we
Yeah.
kind of,
Hmm.
we're African, we're playing,
Yes.
in the
Now I want
mud.
to get into a little bit in terms of that, because I believe that once you have a certain challenge in life, it push you have it's changed your DNA, if that makes sense. You're
Yeah.
able to adapt those kind of stuff. So can you speak a little bit when you be in that position and you have to make a decision in terms of, okay, what do I do? Because
Yeah, I was a very kid, so I was young, 7 years old. I'm in
mm,
Africa. I
what
don't,
was your dream when you're 7 years old? Like what's going on in your mind? Like
yeah,
what do
for
you want to do?
you are happy. You're a child.
Mhm.
You don't really understand if you don't have food or if you don't have shoes and stuff. And
Yes.
remember, so my parents in that stage, to be very honest,
Mm.
we were kind of wealthy compared to other families.
Right.
We were doing well because even for you to have money to go to Portugal,
Yes.
you need to pay the tickets and stuff and
Yes.
stuff. So I saw the I was I saw not, what is not having water, was
Hmm.
not having food and stuff and stuff.
Yes.
But I was kind of living comfortably.
Yeah.
So then my parents, they got divorced,
Mm.
and that's where the struggle started really, because suddenly my mother had to raise 6 7
Mm.
kids, children, and she was by herself, and
Yes.
that was quite, and there is where you have to grow up.
Yeah.
You need to look after your young, you know uh, you know siblings,
Yes.
and it's harder now. Yeah. So, and then is where you start to understand. Okay, you start seeing people suffering. You're like, okay,
Mm.
and everything. I remember my mother would say, "Do you think money grows to the in the trees and stuff?" So,
Yeah.
um, you have a shoes, is a big shoes for you, but
Mm.
you're going to grow into your shoes. So, like,
Yes.
kind of, you have,
Uh-huh.
you have a clothes, but you have to, do a, it's,
Yes.
yeah, not having that. Um, taught me that you need to fight to get
Mm.
things in life. Things doesn't come easy.
Yes.
You need to fight. So I had that mentality. So, and my mother did whatever she could to send us back to Portugal.
Hmm.
And I arrived in Portugal. It was a shock, because in Africa, if you don't have food, you go to the neighbors. You have
Yes.
someone has some fish, someone
Yes.
has some.
Hmm.
You go to kind of the forest, and kind of jungle, and you grab a few things, and
Yes.
you cook. There's more help in Europe. It was like kind of. Can you really go and knock the neighbor's door and say, "Look, I have food. Can I have some
Yes.
food?" It's
Uh-huh.
not really like that. So that I arrived in Portugal, and I had to do menial jobs, just different
Mm.
jobs to basically to study,
Yes.
to save money to study. So my expectation from university
Hmm.
was very high. If I only could graduate, if you see
Yes.
what I mean, if
Uh-huh.
I could graduate,
Yeah.
maybe I'm going to make the money I'm looking for. Maybe
Yes.
will suffer from it. So will stop, because now I'm in
Hmm.
university. I'm going to be graduating. I'm going to be a doctor.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
I thought that was maybe that's why my expectation was very kind of big. But yeah, that's my background. So I didn't I don't have any wealthy parents at all.
Yeah. Right. So I think I just like the fact that of you being able to share that, because I think it's important for an individual to know where they are and where they're going. You know. Now, in terms of, I was looking at the website which you sent me, and I was looking in terms of when we look at in terms of success, a lot of time we look at in terms of the outer look. We don't look within internal hours, and I saw that you put a lot of books, which was in terms of your mindset, in terms of just looking within yourself. Why did you put those two, in terms of business and also mindset? Why did you put those kind of books there?
Yeah, so to have a background that I have, and to believe that you can change your life, I
Mm.
think, you know, I had doubts. I had doubts. So how can a kid with this background, can you really be a millionaire? Can
Mm.
you really, open companies? Can you really be in a Forbes magazine? Can
Hmm.
you really win awards in, national, international awards? Can you really do that? So
Yes.
you have doubts. Everyone has doubts. So
Hmm.
I had to work on my mindset. I had to work on my mindset, and I also have to work on my
Mm.
skill sets. Yeah.
Yes.
So I had to have the skills to do the
Hmm.
thing. So,
Yeah.
um, so I started reading. It's something that, to be very honest, I started reading because I heard that rich people read. Leaders
Yes.
are readers. So I
Hmm.
started reading, like literally just trying to. And I remember once I Google, that was my kind of first, list of books. I Google
Yes.
billionaire people to see what they read.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, just and then I started compiling my list of books. What I didn't realize is
Mm.
really billionaires, they read things that when you're starting a business you don't read, because they
Mm.
already have the foundation.
Yes.
So, but that that made me kind of, because I was reading, it made me appreciate reading. So I started reading, and then I started finding mentors and stuff. Yeah, and then it worked for me.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite book which you read? And like what if I just said go get me a book, you need to read that book for the entire of your life. What book would that be?
I would say there are a few books I read quite.
Only one book. Only one
Yeah,
book.
yeah. Okay, so there are a few books I read kind of often, but I would say the Charlie Almanac by Charlie Munger. Yeah, right. Charlie Munger is Warren Buffett business partner. These guys are, he's a billionaire and very wise man. He's considered one of the most intelligent men alive. So he's 97 or 94 at the moment. Yeah, I would say that book because there's so much wisdom there, so much wisdom. So I try to reread this book every year because it's quite expensive book, but it's an amazing book. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay. So now that decision of you, were you paying the university by yourself, or how was it for you in terms of
I was using student loan, so I didn't have the money to graduate, so I was using student loan.
Right. So in terms of like, what was your process in terms of you saying like, okay, I'm going to take a gap year? How did you plan everything in terms of like, okay, this is what I want to do? Like, how was that?
It just happens organically. It's not like I planned. So what happened was I went to this 3-day course, which I didn't have the money. I used my student loan. And I remember received, like, I think it was 3,600 or something like that. And the course was like 1,000 pounds a day. So it was like 3 days.
Yes.
So I had like £600 and I had to pay my rent. That's it. I didn't have any money. So I'm like, okay, so this has to work.
Yeah.
So when I went there with that big expectation as well, and I didn't understand anything. So I knew when I feel overwhelmed, that means I don't know enough.
Yes.
So it's just, I know that. So so I knew I had to study. So in order to study, I knew I couldn't do university and that at the same time. So I had to decide. So I'm like, if I ask for a gap year, I can put, I can try a year. If it doesn't work out, I can go back. I can really graduate any time.
Yeah.
There's not an age you can graduate. You can, you can go back. So that was the thinking, literally. I'm like, I will try for a year. If it doesn't work out, I go back to university. So it was an easy kind of decision, to be very honest.
So, like, literally, you didn't have anything. What? That's why you're basically saying that you have to make it work. When you go on there's some certain thing when you are determined to do it. There's nothing else that's going to stop you. You just have to do it. So,
exactly. I don't have anything to lose.
Yeah. So, in terms of you, like, again, your network, did you have people who were like in the same, who also had the same vision? Because, we say the people you used to learn with, they're the ones going to influence you in what you do, all this kind of stuff. Did you have like kind of a network where you just like, you start, again, you're saying before you had in doubt. Did you have that network where you're just like, you know what, if he can do it, I can also do it?
Not really. But, after I've done the 3 days, they give you kind of a small network. And then now with the internet, you have, lots of groups and forums that you can text people, message them and, meet up and stuff. But, in my kind of close network, my family, they thought I was, crazy. What do you mean? Like, go back to university? I remember. I remember my mother was like, make sure you go and graduate, so something like that. And they thought I was crazy. So since I've been fixing Forbes, this conversation stopped. But until then, it was like kind of, what you're doing, because they don't really it was hard for them to understand what I was doing. Yeah.
But do you? Okay, how was that process of you going like, you made that, you got that decision or later, like, okay, mom, okay, well, you're saying thinking to yourself, yeah, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, I need to tell my parents. Like, how was that? You know, because they have a different mindset to you. How was that discussion?
Yeah, so I didn't well, first I was like kind of, I just am in a gap year. My mother was like, why don't you go to university? I'm just in a gap year.
Mm,
So then they don't really understand what you're doing. So like, why are you reading books? Because if you're reading books, they think you're reading books for university. So that is
yes.
okay. It's more
Yeah.
kind of when you graduate. So
Yes.
and yeah, I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them
Mm,
until because the thing is, and this is the hard thing in life,
mm,
you need to believe before you see.
yeah.
What the world, the way the world is they need to see
Hmm.
before they believe.
Yes.
Yeah, so and success is opposite. You need to
Mm,
believe before you can see, because you need to believe, you need to put the work, and
hmm.
then you see the result.
Yes.
The reality is they do the opposite. They want to they want to see, then they believe.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Uh
it's
huh.
it's quite hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's so powerful that again it goes internal, because in order for you to have that vision of whatever you wanted to do, you have to believe in yourself,
Exactly.
100%. And I think a lot of time, especially in the media or whatever, we are so conditional that we have to see everything. Like, oh, he has this, therefore, you know. But that journey always start within yourself, and I
Exactly.
truly believe that you gotta have that strong belief within yourself in order to do anything. Um, like now, in terms of the idea of doubt, what is doubt to you? Like, how does that what do you understand by that?
Doubt. Yeah. So we all have doubt. So what I've done, I talked a lot about I have a kind of a private inner circle people that I mentor, and I say to them, you need to reprogram your brain.
Mm,
Yeah, so you need to. One of the things I've done, I remember from the beginning, I used to listen to motivation speech like
mm,
Les Browns and
yes.
TD Jakes and you know, Zig Ziglars and Jim
Hmm.
Rohns and old school people. So I was programming
Yes.
my brain so you can live your dream, you can do it, it's always possible. So doubts comes from a voice
Mm,
that we have, like, can you really do this, from other people's opinions, because when we are grow up, my
yeah.
friend,
Hmm.
we if you tell a kid you can be the president, they
Yes.
believe
Yeah.
everything is possible. So doubt comes from other people's
Hmm.
opinion of you. Okay. However, if you really listen to other motivational stuff, because we
Mm,
we do we read news, it's just negativity, negativity,
yes.
negativity. Of course
Hmm.
you have doubts.
Yeah.
If you do the opposite, no news, just positive stuff, that
Yes.
helps to clear the doubts. So
Hmm.
that's the way I did. I was just listening to positive stuff
Yeah.
to help my brain
Hmm.
to be more positive, and then you put the work.
Yeah. And yeah, this is the kind of stuff which is and it's very interesting because it's kind of like it's also transferable. If you feel nervous or you feel scared, somebody else is gonna be nervous as well.
Exactly.
And how, how did you understand that? Like, how was it? Like, you understood, like, okay, the way I'm thinking and the way I'm doing things has an impact on me. How did you get that?
I didn't. I literally, I it, it- back then I didn't understand that. I knew that I wanted to change my life. I
Hmm.
was naive enough to think I could.
Mm.
Okay, and I was listening. So used to go to the gym and listen to this motivation speech, and they were saying it's possible.
Yes.
And I was looking for things that would inspire me.
Mm.
And the reason why I tend to give time to tell my story, so people,
Yes.
maybe someone will be inspired and say, look, I couldn't speak English 5 years ago. I
Hmm.
couldn't speak a word in English. I remember, I tell this story. I went to top up an oyster, which is a card in London to take the tube, and the guy's like, how many days do you want? And I'm like, yes. And he said, sorry, how many days do you want to top up? And I'm like, yes. And I would smile.
Yeah,
He
yes.
said, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, um, 7. Yeah. So
Yes.
I didn't understand anything.
Mhm.
So for someone like that, in get where I am, it's possible. I'm not different
Yes.
than anyone else. I'm not smarter than anyone else. I just did few things that, I think few fundamentals that everyone follows that fundamental, they will have the success.
Yes.
That's why I believe.
And I think I just like the story which you just tell in terms of you struggle to speak English, and then it just shows you like we all have different challenges, and you just gotta be bold enough to, as you said before, to fight for what you want to have.
Exactly.
It's you gotta have to, because that dream which you have is only been given to you. um Now, in terms of you scaling and also having a business, whatever, how was it from that, having that reality of like, oh my god, I am doing this for Leo, this is becoming a reality? How was that for you to transfer into that?
Yeah. So one of the things people don't realize, you can't really scale from 0 to a million. Yeah. So there's no such thing like you never made money and then you're a millionaire. So that's not the entire story. So you
Yes.
grow incrementally. So you make your first 6 figures, and then you make your 7 figures, and then maybe you make your 8 figures. So there's incremental growth. So
Yes.
when people say they want to make 100K, for example, that's not the goal. The goal should be make your first sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the process to make your first sales and make your 6 figures, is completely different to make a million. Why? You need more processes, you need more systems, you need more people.
Yes.
Okay. So you need to understand that. So the job for me was, first I made my 6 figures, and I was kind of working by myself, and then I had one VA, which is virtual assistant. But then when you start growing,
Yes.
to 7 figures, and that's why you start putting employees, and so it's incremental. To answer your question, is incremental. Your job always should be to make your first sales, then your second sales, and then find marketing strategies that is consistent, so you get leads consistently. Then you need to convert that leads, and then I'm a consultant, so a lot of business owners comes to me and they say, look, I want more leads. I want more customers. What they really want, they want more leads. Yeah. And then it wants to convert their leads, which is equal customers. Yeah. So, but they just want a customer.
Yes.
A customer is the consequence of having leads and convert them.
Yeah.
And then you have the customer, you see? So it's not more customer.
Yes.
What they want is more leads, and then they want to convert their leads. So then, if you have more leads, but your sales guys can't convert them, you don't have more customers. So you see, so they want just the result. You don't want the result, so you need to know. So so you don't grow to 0 to a million. You grow incrementally. So it's incrementally step, and you will have to have systems, and you have to have more people. The more you grow, yeah.
Yes. And what kind of challenges are you facing? Like, what kind of challenges before you start doing your business, and the challenges which you're having right now? What kind of challenge are you facing? You feeling?
One of the things, that's a great question, because one of the things people don't realize is there's no such thing as not having challenge. Everyone has challenge, and the more you grow, the bigger the challenge is. Yeah. So you need to grow. So when someone stagnates, so basically they don't know what they don't know to go to the next level.
Yes.
So my challenges now are different than they used to be.
Yes.
I have bigger challenges. So, but I like that. The way I see life is like this. So let's say we are playing a game. Yeah, and let's say it's a football game.
Yes.
In America they call soccer. Let's say you want to score. Yeah, so you are team A, and then you have team B.
Yes.
Let's say if you want to score, this is life, okay? And let's say there's no challenge and you just go and you score all
Yeah.
the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, you just go and score. That's boring. That's not a game. So the team B, your
Yes.
team A, the team B basically have obstacles to
Mm.
make the game fun.
Yes.
Yeah, so to challenge you to score.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the way I think about life. So I see challenges as obstacles I need to overcome to reach my goal, to score, let's say. Yeah.
Yes. Mm.
So that's the way I do. So I welcome challenges. Yeah.
Mm. Wow. That's again. This is kind of a different. I remember when we started the business, my dad. And my dad was like, when you have the same challenges, and I'm there thinking like, I don't like this. I don't like this. And they be like, oh, it's just challenges. It's okay, whatever. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? Like, where are you coming from in order for you to be like, yeah, it's just a child. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. Like, what is it? Like, what? How'd you get into that point where you just think like every challenge that you're facing is just a game? You just it's okay. Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from?
I learned that. I learned that. So I used to be like you, and I complain. Oh my God, look at me.
Yes.
This problem again. That problem again.
Yeah.
I shift my mindset, and I think if I don't want challenge, basically I'm saying I don't want to grow.
Mm.
Yeah, so I wanted to stay in the same place. Another thing is challenge is basically saying you don't know something, and then you just need to find the answer.
Mm-hmm.
We have almost 7 or almost 8 billion people in this world. Someone already
No. Yes. They've gone through it.
has the knowledge. You just need to find that person. Pay them, or sometimes even reach out to people. Underestimate sometimes just reaching out to people.
Yeah, so true. So true. Yes.
Yeah, so reach out to me. Hi, how are you? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We in social media, just send them a LinkedIn.
Yes.
You'll be surprised. Some people will respond to you.
Yeah.
So, and ask them questions. How did you do it?
Yes.
One of the ways is interview people. Like,
Yeah.
have a podcast and say, look, can I interview you? Some,
Yes.
I'm busy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I have a big schedule, but some people would say yes. Some people would say no.
Yes.
Don't take no personally, but at least try. So whatever difficulty you have, someone already had that difficulty and fix the problem.
Yes.
So find that person to help you.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, to fix that problem.
I really like that. That's so true. And I think again, when somebody hear no, it's something which is like it hurts your feeling, if that makes sense. As you are saying, don't take it personal. And I think again, it's that growing stage that an individual need to overcome. And do you think like what you've gone through so far has made you to be what you are right now?
Yeah, definitely. Growing up, not having much, coming to England I came to England, I had to do everything from the scratch, do menial jobs. I did cleaning jobs. I did, you name it, to save some money to pay to learn English, because I was in the kind of the normal school, but then I wanted to increase. Don't get me wrong, my English is not perfect, and I'm still learning English, but I can communicate in English. I can
I can hear
English,
you. I can understand you.
Yeah, okay. So people can understand what I'm saying. So that's what is important. So, and all of that made me, because coming back and going to Portugal, doing menial jobs, then coming to England, doing the same thing, menial jobs to save money to study. So all of that, taught me a lesson, taught me that it's possible, I can change. And it taught me resilience, taught me that I can't just pray that things can change. I need to do something about
actions.
it. Yeah. So, so that definitely changed me, because I have the power to change. We all have the power to change our lives.
100%. And I think it also, again, is that there's that belief of where you know that, okay, it's either I'll remain just the way I am, doing the meal job a day in, day out, or I can make that decision of let me go forward and fall at this. If I fail, I'll fail, but I've learned something from it. Um, so what is your look going forward? What's that? What are your, what do you want it to do? Like, what's your the next plan? All this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so 2020 was, I really wanted to reach, 8 figures because it was, despite the pandemic,
Hmm.
I did that.
Yeah.
So that was the kind of the goal. This
Yes.
year is more, I believe it's going to have a lot of opportunities, even though, there's a lot of uncertainty in the markets.
Mm.
Uncertainty it brings a lot of opportunities. So I just want to scale.
Hmm.
I have a business model. Just want to scale. Just
Yes.
wanted to buy bigger deals, anything 7 figures,
Hmm.
deals rather than doing small ones because it's the same type of headache.
Yes.
So so you do the bigger ones. So this year is kind of bigger deals,
Hmm.
grow a bit faster. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. When I was speaking before, you told me you travel somewhere, and I definitely want to know where you travel. Where did you go?
Yeah. So I went to London because I have quite a few properties in London,
Hmm.
and then I went to Harrogate, which is the north in England. I got a couple of properties there, so I've been kind of planning my year. I take like 2 week out just to plan my year,
Yes.
just to yeah, so I do that every year, plan my year and then, execute. So I just arrived now after, normally I take 2 weeks. This year I
Mm.
took 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And just arrived and now ready to 2021. I think it's going to be a great year.
Yeah, that's the positivity which is needed, And again, I can feel it from when you're talking. It's just like okay, I've not that negativity. You need to be surrounded in that environment where that energy is there. Again, speaking to the audience, like you need to. I think it's as you're saying, sometimes it's crazy to believe that you can do it. As it's something which you there have to be something so strong within you that makes you to believe.
Yeah.
You have to be a point where you just like, what, I'm tired of living the way I'm living. If you don't get to that point of yourself saying like, what, I'm fed up of the way I'm living right now, you can never be successful because you're
Yeah.
happy with it. You don't see there's nothing that makes you that pushes you that makes you to do what you want to do. Um, Now, what kind of in terms of if somebody wants to go into property or somebody want to change their career or especially this time where we are, what kind of advice can you would you advise would you tell them?
So property and any business is the same thing. So you need to learn the ropes, the fundamentals,
Hmm.
Um, so learn the ropes, learn the business, like kind of the fundamental, then
Yes.
decide which strategy you want to do. You have many strategies in
Uh-huh.
properties, and decide the strategy, because everyone is different. So it depends on your circumstance. Decide
Yes.
your strategy, what you want to do,
Yes.
and then take from there. I
Uh-huh.
can guarantee you in all these strategies, there's someone who's doing that strategy very well,
Uh-huh.
and learn from that person. Why? We always can make more money, but we
Uh-huh.
can't make more time.
Yes.
Yeah, so people think money is most important.
Mm.
We have, let's say, 4,000 weeks in this world.
Mm.
If we are lucky enough to be 85, so make sure you use your time wisely.
Yes.
So understand the strategy you go to, and then find someone's already doing. Just learn from them because
Yes.
they can cut you 10 years of your life. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can reach your goal faster.
Yes.
And that's what I would say. First, decide your strategy.
Hmm.
Decide, okay, I wanted to learn property. Find someone who's doing that strategy successfully
Yes.
and model them. Yeah.
Hmm. Right. And this at the beginning you said something. Does money make you happy? Can money make you happy? I don't know.
Uh, money is just money is money is a magnifier. So it
Mm,
makes you more than you what you are. So if you are an unhappy person, you have more money, you're just going to be more unhappy. Money
yes.
is a tool.
Yes.
I don't think money doesn't give you happiness, but money basically buy experience. Okay,
Yes.
experience
Uh-huh.
makes you happy. If you understand the brain, we have a chemical called dopamine. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, and the dopamine is the chemical that makes us happy. Okay.
Yes.
So, the feeling of being happy. So, money, bring us. So, for example, if you buy a house for your mother,
Hmm.
so you feel happy that
Yes.
that you bought a house for your mother. So, money allows you to have that experience, if you see
Hmm.
what I mean. So I wouldn't say money itself makes you happy.
Yes.
However, it can
However,
buy
yes.
experience to makes
Yeah.
you happy. Yeah. So there's a lot of negativity towards money.
Hmm.
I think money is just a tool. Money
Yes.
is not good or bad, it's just
Uh-huh.
a tool. You can do bad things with money, yes, but you can do also good things with money. So there's a lot of good things
Hmm.
that's been done with money. But to be very honest, more bad things are done for lack of money. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so it's good for us to understand that
Yes.
money is important and learn
Yeah.
that at least we are not we don't have the lack of money. So it's good to understand that money is important. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And yeah, I think I'll just fall about it. Like, every person that is able to do well, that question is all upright. Like, okay, does money make you happy? Again, as you say, is your individual that makes you can have nothing and you'll be like the happy space on this planet. You're thinking, why is he happy? What's going on with him? Again, it goes back into who you are. They say what you're made into. Um, so when you look at people in terms of you know, yeah, I believe you told me in terms of your sister. I don't know if you would like to share that, if that if you want to or not.
My sister, yeah. So I, when I came back from Africa, went to Portugal, and I was looking after my sister, and she ended up dying. That was kind of a turning point in my life because
Mm,
when my sister died, I kind of promised her, I would, be a big man, kind of success in the quote of society, so I
yes.
could give more, I could help more.
Hmm.
So that was a driving point in my life, and that allowed me. I decided to move from Portugal to England
Hmm.
to learn English. And then, I thought like, I would be an actor, so I would be famous, and that's the way I would make money.
Yes.
So that allows me. You need to find your why. It
Mm,
can be your kids, it can be whatever it is. You need to find your why. And my sister was my why,
yeah.
um, which gave me fire to push in the
Forward.
challenging
Hmm.
times and challenging moments. I always thought about her,
Yeah.
and always carry on because of that.
Mm. So what? I guess this is gonna be once you reach your goal. You know. How as you say, how do you keep that fire keep on going? Where you just like, okay, you know what? I don't need to do it anymore. I don't need to.
Yeah, so um I could retire if I want to.
Mhm.
So retire is not about age. Retire is about do you have enough money to live comfortably until
Yes.
the day you die, or
Mhm.
so that is what I call retirement. So I could
Yes.
retire now. For me, is not about um, having more money. Is more about I love what I do. It's
Mm.
more about do the things I love to do.
Yes.
So it's more about that. So, and for me, it's just goals. It's, as I said, I see life as a kind of a game. So
Yes.
when I was um, in my first year of investments, I made 2.5 million. So I was like, okay, let me try to reach 10. So let's
Uh-huh.
see how if I
Yes.
can do. Yeah, and
Yeah.
if I fail, really I fail.
Mm.
What is failure?
Yes.
Failure is if you quit. If you
Hmm.
quit, you fail. If you don't quit, if it took me, let's say, if you had taking me, I don't know, 10 years to make 10 million, who cares?
Mm.
And it also is the goal I put for myself. Is no one is giving that goal.
Yes.
I'm giving the goal myself. So yeah, so for me it's all about uh be self motivated rather
Mm.
than having external motivation.
Yes. Nah, that's so true. Because again, when you rely on somebody else, they can sooner or later they can disappoint you. But if it's within you, that's it. You can do whatever you wanted to do. And you said something in terms of passion. Passion is one of those things where a lot of people always, they might be really good at a certain thing, maybe writing or singing or whatever, and they just shy away. They'll shy away from what the talent they have. Um, I guess again, I believe is regarding fear, and I think it's so sad that a lot of people they have so much talent because of fear or whatever they just that they are shy away with that. What can you tell them? Like, what can you tell them? Like, if you heard of somebody and you see their talent or whatever, but they are shying away, what can you tell them just to be like, yo, get up, you can do better than this.
Yeah, so talent is a bit overrated, I would say, my friend, because
Mhm.
talent comes with a lot of practice. Of
Yes.
course, there are few things that comes natural to you, but you need to
Yes.
put the practice. I would
Uh-huh.
say to them, if they really believe, just put the work,
Uh-huh.
and and everyone can do it because there's no such thing. Someone is better than others. We all have a talent inside of us. Okay,
Yes.
so we just need to believe because what is the worst case scenario can happen?
Mm.
You know, Les Brown, is a motivational speaker. He used to say the best, the the treasure in life, most of the treasure in life is in the graveyard,
Mm.
the graveyard, because people have all these talents without using, they die with that talent. So
Yes.
don't be one of them. Don't die with your talent. Do
Uh-huh.
whatever you can to express your talent, because you're depriving the world to see
Mm.
what you're made of, and then
Yes.
how many people can inspire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and how many people can you touch with your talent. So do what God, you know, put you here to do.
Yes. 100%. And I really love that because, you know, uh, especially right now, a lot of people are depressed or whatever. And fun enough, even why I came with this channel is just like, you know what, there's so many people in my network or people I know that are doing amazing things that all three somebody else can be able to if he's doing it I can be able to do it, because sometimes we look at people, we put them so high like, oh yeah, that superstar or whatever, and you might not even get the opportunity to see that person, so by just being able to be in that network and say, oh, if he's doing it, I can also do it, and yeah, I just hoping that we do better than the way we found the world, because if even by just changing one person's life, yeah, you've changed that individual generation forever. Um, so yeah, I just really appreciate you just be to come here and to share your story, share what you're going through and what you're going to do. Uh, if there's anything which I've missed out from this interview or anything that you like to share, just share it. What's the name of your business? And if anybody want to get in contact with you, all those kind of stuff, that'd be great if you can share that as well.
Yeah, I think we cover quite a lot of ground, and if I could say something, I would say everything is possible.
Mm.
Go and fight for your dreams and do it, because everything is possible. If I could do it, everyone can. And there's a saying by Charlie Munger who says, the best thing a human being can do is to help other a human being no more.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I learn from everyone. So I believe everyone has something to learn. So go, teach,
Mhm.
and help someone.
Yes.
Reach out to someone and help them out as well. So because that's the gift, yeah, we all have within us.
Yeah. That's and what's the name of your business? Anything?
So I have my website. If you Google my name, Valter
Mhm.
Pontes. So I have a website, valterpontes.com, where I teach people to start in their property business because that's the way I did.
Yes.
If they wanted to start, I teach them the fundamentals of property business. So that is one of my companies. I have other companies as well, but it's more kind of management properties that I
Right.
manage my own portfolios and stuff. But yeah, if you wanted to learn how to start in property, yeah,
Yes.
is voltapontes.com.
Right. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, guys, thank you for being here until the end, hopefully. Yeah, as I always say that, you gotta follow your dream. You gotta follow it because at the end of the day, if you don't follow your dream, as he said, you're not helping anybody. So just it's hard, it's challenging, but take it as a game. Take it as a game and keep on moving forward. So, yeah, this is the end of the interview itself. I really appreciate you being here and sharing with us. And hopefully, I hope that we can be able to, even to meet in person. That'd be awesome. Hopefully,
Yeah,
this lockdown it goes off and then we can just be able to be free again. So, yeah, I would just really appreciate the time which you
thank you
spend
for
for
having
the
me, my
interview.
friend. Thank you.
Thank you very
My
much for
pleasure.
that.